Hello everyone, it's me again, Steedoj here, back to more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I'm not going to waste too much time, I just want to mention who are the last 10 characters going to be. Now, I do believe most of these slots are movie slots, but I'm going to mention the names right away, who I think the last 10 characters are, and I will explain why and how they fit into those slots. So, Kid Goku, Broly, Super Saiyan Broly, Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, obviously you have to include all of his forms, as well as Cooler, Final Form Cooler, Metal Cooler, D Gogeta, and Demon King Piccolo. You could say, Steed, that's just Cooler, Broly, Piccolo, Goku, and like that's it, right? And yeah, it's fair, but let me explain why, okay? I'll take a bit of time to explain each one carefully, so I'm going to start with Kid Goku. I think Kid Goku is reserved for the slots on the far right, in between Oob, Goten, and Gohan. Again, it's kind of a reach to say this because they put these slots very randomly. Again, I'm going to ask you to find Saiyan Saga Vegeta, Buu Saga Vegeta, and Super Saiyan Vegeta from the Cell Saga while I do this explanation, because that's how far apart some of these characters are in this. But I think Kid Goku is going to go in that slot, mostly because it's, again, surrounded by people who Goku associates with, whether it be his, his two children or the person he mentors. And Kid Goku is pretty fitting to put around Goten, I would say, or around Oob even, to say. And Kid Goku has to be in the game naturally. I'm pretty sure there is still a leak of him in the custom battle mode. You can see a somewhat faded image of a Goku on a Nimbus. It could be adult Goku, but it does look way too short to be adult Goku, and the orange of the gi is a lot more fierce than what he has by the time he gets to that point. So yeah, I think Kid Goku is going to be the first character, and not to mention it's Kid Goku. How could they not put Kid Goku in a game, other than Xenoverse 2? But how could they not put Kid Goku in this game? Come on, Kid Goku is the first one. Next is Dragon Ball Z Broly. I do believe he has the 3 slots next to Jiren, Z17, and Super 17. Now again, there's no correlation for this other than the fact that he's right next to adult Gohan, which is pretty fitting because he has a movie alongside him too. But I think Z Broly takes up these slots because, again, he's a very isolated character, doesn't really mix or get along with anyone. I can imagine the 3 slots that they've left entirely for him are just for him. He doesn't have 4 transformations, so I don't imagine he goes into the one with the 4 slots, and he's not just one character either. And the most important part, Z Broly is hyper popular. If he wasn't as popular as he was, then we wouldn't have got Dragon Ball Super Broly. So there's literally no way they couldn't include Z Broly. Not to mention, again, the fact that Super Broly is called Broly Super in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Again, they only update the characters' names if they are implying that they are going to add another version of them. Keep in mind, Piccolo used to just be called Piccolo before they added the end Piccolo. And now, the first Piccolo that was just called Piccolo is called Piccolo like early. Now the Piccolo we have is Piccolo End. And then when they add DBS Piccolo, they'll just call him, Piccolo Super, right? Piccolo End doesn't... By the way, Piccolo End will probably get updated to Piccolo Z End when they add Super Piccolo. So yeah, again, when characters have the extra part of the name to tell you which era they're from, that means they're going to add the other version of them. And DBS Broly isn't just called Broly, it's called Broly Super. So we're going to get the other forms of Broly. And thankfully, the other Tenkaichi game, Tenkaichi 3, actually had Broly transform into all of his forms. So we won't get a weird Xenoverse case where 2 of his forms are one character and then 1 form is another character, which is just bizarre, but that's the way it works sometimes. So yeah, I do think Z Broly is gonna, again, he's just too iconic. He's the reason why we have Super Broly. Hell, he's the reason why we have Kale. So yeah, Z Broly just gets in without like a shadow of a doubt. The Coolers. Okay, now this one is the one I've had the hardest time in deciding, and I'm gonna explain one theory for it real quick. I wanted to say that the 3 characters here would be Cooler, Final Form Cooler, and Metal Cooler. And maybe Piccolo is alongside them right next to Toppo. But why does Toppo not have his God of Destruction form yet in this game? There's not enough trailers, I imagine, to quickly slip in a God of Destruction Toppo. He's not a movie character, and he's not OG Dragon Ball, which are the only slots pretty much left for this. So maybe there is going to be no God of Destruction Toppo in Sparking Zero. Again, that sounds weird to say, because God of Destruction Toppo is probably more popular than regular Toppo, as well as the fact that you're just missing out on all of these cool Hakai moves. But Sparking Zero has already shown that they will bravely and boldly just leave characters like Super 17 out. So even if the character is pretty cool and has a unique gimmick, that doesn't mean they're just going to make it in, because, they're not the most popular character of their series, and that's completely fair. So if Super Toppo, like God of Destruction Toppo, gets added, that changes up this roster a lot, because one of the other characters I'm going to suggest later has a body character, and another character I have a suggestion for later has a villain that needs to be included with him. And it'd be weird to not include the villain, but let me explain first. Cooler takes up these 3 slots because 1, Cooler is the second most popular movie villain, and he's Frieza's brother. Cooler has a lot that they can just do with him in general. Again, Metal Cooler was the only character in the game, other than like Cybermen and Cell Juniors and stuff. He was pretty much the only strong character in the game who you could bring multiple copies of. Again, if you wanted to make a team full of just Goku, you'd have to pick different Gokus. If you want to make a team full of just like cells, you have to pick different cells. If you want to make a team of just Metal Cooler, you can actually make them all Metal Cooler. It doesn't have to be Final Form Cooler and then the other Cooler. It can just be only Metal Cooler. So I think they want to keep that unique gimmick in, right? That's why I think these 3 go here. That last slot next to Turbo is a very dangerous place. I have no idea what character's even going to go there. I'm actually hyped to see who they put there. And a pretty big one, Super Gogeta from Dragon Ball Z. Because keep in mind, we have Gogeta GT and Gogeta Super. And I want you guys to look at something real quick. You could see that Gogeta GT and Gogeta Super, there's a slot in between them. You got a red one on one side, you got a blue one on the other side. Make it make sense, people. We know where Z Gogeta's going. Now, if Z Gogeta gets in, does Piccolo also get in? So if Piccolo gets in, he goes down next to Toppo, and that makes sense. But then where does Janemba go, the villain of the movie? He has to take up 2 slots, right? Okay, cool. So now we have Piccolo, and then both Janemba forms there. Who takes up the slot between Goku and Annie Laza now? I don't know. You can't put Cooler there. Cooler's a transforming character. He has 2 forms. You can't put any of the Coolers there. Okay, so Cooler gets left out of the game. Who gets added? Tapion? Oh, Tapion gets added, so that means we get Hirudegarn as the last character slot then. But wait, Hirudegarn's placement doesn't make any sense. You want to know why? Because the character that comes after Z Gogeta is very obviously Demon King Piccolo at the top, next to the other 2 Piccolos. Kid Goku needs someone to fight from his series, and clearly they are very brave about taking out a lot of characters being playable to replace them with DBS characters, right? Which is fair, but Kid Goku needs his second representative from OG Dragon Ball. It can't be Tien, because Tien is a DBZ character, especially all the variants of him that they do here. Yamcha's also from DBZ. They'll probably have costumes for their older variants, sure, but Kid Goku needs someone to fight, and it's most likely Demon King Piccolo, up there with the other 2 Piccolos. So let's get that out of the way. That creates quite a dilemma. It means that Z Gogeta could end up being in the game without Super Janemba, which I think would make more sense. Janemba is less popular than Cooler, no matter how you slice it. He's literally just there to be a Gogeta victim, if anything. Cooler actually is, again, a huge fan favorite character, especially in Japan. They love Cooler. Hell, we love Cooler over here. Cooler's loved around the planet. You put a big lizard man in a mask, right, and give him like a deep, like synthesized voice and stuff. He's cool. It's in the name. He's cooler, right? So that's a really hard placement to do. That last few slots is entirely dependent on if they want to add Piccolo, if they want to add Tapion, or if they want to add Janemba. Because if they add Janemba, it needs to be both forms. If they add Tapion, they need to add Hirudegarn. If they add Piccolo, then they can maybe get away with having like the 3 Coolers take up the bottom slots, right? And that would work, unless if they just do Super Janemba. But that would be a disservice to his previous form. You see what I mean here? Sparking Zero can't do a Xenoverse. They can't just have single slot characters. Everyone needs to be a Transformer because it fits the vibe of Dragon Ball. That's what Dragon Ball's about. So they can't just have just Super Janemba there. Again, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Because those last few slots, the 4 slots on the bottom, are so hard to gauge. Every other slot I have somewhat of an argument for. Kid Goku in the far right next to, his children and Oob. Broly isolated on his own in the 3 slots next to Gohan. Then you have Gogeta in between the 2 other Gogetas and Demon King Piccolo next to the other 2 Piccolos. It's just easy. But those last 4 slots on the bottom, I have no idea. Cooler could take up 3 of them, and then I'm not sure what else, what happens with the last one. Okay, I'm recording this later, and I just realized I'm dumb as hell, because they still didn't reveal the pre-order character for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and Sparking Zero releases the exact same day as the Dragon Ball Daima anime, and when you look at the position of the character, he'd actually be underneath GT and Super Goku. Yeah, the pre-order character's Daima Goku. And that also means we get no Tapion and Hirudegarn, but I was kind of expecting it because Dragon Fist doesn't even work on Giants still. So yeah, it's safe to assume that it's just not, there's going to be melee supers that just don't work on Giants in Sparking Zero. I wanted to mention it earlier and I completely forgot. I'm so sorry. Let me know what you guys also think about that. I genuinely don't think melee supers are going to work on Giants in Sparking Zero because they have still not updated it. So it's most likely the case. I think that is a solid place to end the video, guys. So again, please leave a like in the video. Don't forget to subscribe. It greatly supports the channel. And leave a comment down below as to what you'd like to see next. Please let me know what you think about these character slots. Because keep in mind, I did my best to try and put OG Dragon Ball and movie characters in at the same time. But maybe, just maybe, they might save movies for DLCs. So again, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And that'll be it. Love you all. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you all next time. Take care and peace.